So here for this assignment, we're going to be taking footage you've already filmed in with your phone, and we're going to be putting that into Premiere. So to start with, I'm going to open up Premiere. I'm going to start a new project. Project name is going to be camera movement. And again, on your desktop, I want you to make a new folder for that. So you made one for Landryman last time. This time you should have a new folder for camera movements. So it's going to help you stay organized, having a different folder for every different project you do. Okay, and I'm just going to hit create. So I got a nice empty project here. So there's a couple of different ways you can bring stuff in. You can double tap, that's what we did last time. This time I'm going to show you how to bring it in without doing that. So I've got my File Explorer window here. Remember, that was one of the programs you were supposed to pin when you set up your computer, right there. This time I'm just going to drag and select. Another way you can do that is pick one and hold the Shift key, and then just use the arrows to pick which ones you want. So I've got 6 different videos because there's 6 different camera movements. I'm going to drag those in. And in the assignment, I've asked that you do it in order. So I'm going to start with pan. And I'm going to drag that in. My clip is 8 seconds long. I only want a short amount of that. So I'm going to use the part where it starts moving, so right about here to right about, I'm going to say 3 seconds in. So if I'm 3 seconds in, like here, that's about it. And I just really need enough of the camera movement to see that you understand what's going on. I don't need any sound here, so what I'm going to do for this channel, this audio 1 channel, I'm just going to hit the M, and that means it'll mute because I don't need any sound. I am going to use some sound later, but I'm going to put it in another channel, so we don't need to worry about that. So that's the basic process for each of the different camera movements. You need to have each one in order, 1 through 6. It's in the assignment. You need to label each one, so I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to switch to the type tool. And I just need a little text here at the bottom. I'm going to do that. And it should be over here in my effect controls panel. If that's not showing up, you may need to select that again. And then text is right there, my text box. And whatever font and stuff you choose is up to you. It just needs to be big enough where I can see it. I'm going to take a Old English font and PN right there. Make it a little bigger to be able to see it easier. And that's good. Okay, you see how this pink box over here is kind of like going on too long, and it doesn't start when the clip starts. So I want to switch back to my main tool, which is V if you want to use the shortcut. T is the text shortcut. V is the selection tool shortcut. I'm going to drag that right here, and I'm going to shorten that. So now that'll just appear when that camera movement is on. So for the other 5 camera movements, that's the same basic idea. You're going to have short 3-second clips that show me that you understand what the camera movement is. But there's a couple other things that we're adding to this mix now that you need to be able to do as well. So you need to go to graphics here. And I've probably got a bunch of graphics that you don't have. But I want you to pick one that's a title. So you can just type in title here. And let's use this angled title here. So this is going to be a template that you can use with any text that you want to put in there. So you can see how it looks in the program monitor. And I'm just going to double click that, and in this one you'll see this window over here. You can just double tap and type with the text tool though, and I'm going to put I'll do all caps, your name, and you're going to put your name at the beginning of the video. And that doesn't need to go on that long. So that's one extra thing you're going to do. And the last extra thing is going to be finding some music. So in the assignment, I've provided a link at the bottom, sources for Creative Commons sounds. We'll talk more about what that looks like later, but basically what that means later. Creative Commons sound is basically free music that you can use with permission from the artist. And I've provided a bunch of different options for you here. I'm not going to go into all of them. YouTube Audio Library is really good, but that has become a little more complicated to use. Bin sound is fine. Free music. I'm going to find some free music for videos, and it really doesn't matter whichever one you want to use. Just click this free download button, and it says free license with attribution. Don't forget us to give us attribution. That means you need to give credit. You need to give credit for the person who made this music. So camera movements, and I'm going to call this one, I'm going to save this in my camera movements folder. I'm going to save that, and to give credit, I need to know the name of the artist and the name of the song. So it's right here. The name of the song is Creative Minds, and the name of the artist is Benjamin Tissot or something. I don't know how you pronounce that. Benjamin Tissot, let's just say. I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. So that will go in here in a second. So first I'm gonna bring in the sound, and I'll use File Explorer again. So that's in my camera movements folder. I downloaded that song, MP3, it's called Creative Minds. I'm gonna bring that in. I'm gonna go back to the editing tab here because I don't need any more graphics right now. And there's the file. You can see the icon's a little different when it's just an audio file. And I could double click this and I can see, like, it's pretty long. I don't really need all that. But for right now, I'm just gonna use the whole thing. So, when I drag it in, should be able to hear that now. Okay, not amazing music, but it is what it is. So I need to give attribution, so I'm going to do that at the beginning of the video. So when it says your name up here, at the bottom I'm going to have a little text box that has the name of the artist and song title. So, beep. And this time I don't want to do fancy, hard to read fonts. I'll do music. Okay, and that just needs to be as long as the name is on there, so I can make that shorter right there. Okay, so as long as you have credit that's giving attribution, that's what I want you to be able to do. The last thing I want you to be able to do, and this song I actually picked, is already fading in a little bit, but I want to fade out. So how do I change the volume of the music? So what you'll have to do, and there's a lot of different ways to do this, but I'm going to teach you this way first. You're going to use these little sliders, and when I make the slider big enough, I can see that little line. That line represents the audio level. It's measured in decibels. So right now it's 0 decibels, so it's like the basic level. So I'm going to use my mouse. I'm on the selection tool, the main tool, and I'm going to use the control button. So when I hit the control button, you notice the icon is changing on this line. It won't change if I don't have it online, but when I've got it on the line and I'm holding the control button, I can make these little dots. These dots are called keyframes. We're going to use those a lot. And I'm going to fade in this music. So what I did was I made 2 dots, and then I just dragged it down. So now it's going to start off completely quiet and it'll come in. Okay, and I want you to do the same at the end. So I didn't put in all 6 of my clips, but you're going to put in all 6 of your clips, and I'm going to drag this down here to be approximately where yours would be. Okay, and I need to fade. I don't want the music to end abruptly. I want it to fade out. So I'm going to hit dot, 2 dots, and then drag that one down. And that's how you change. That's one of the ways you can change volume. So remember, I muted this track, so I won't hear any sound from any of the videos. I'm only going to hear sound from the music that you've given credit for. And that's pretty much how you're going to do it. So last time I talked about using this export button And you can still do it this way. Make sure it ends up in your exports folder. Make sure you call it camera movement. You can also do it this way. So I got to make sure I know what I'm exporting, because if I'm over here and I'm highlighting the sound, it's just going to try to export the sound. So that's not going to be what I want at all. See, it's going to export it. It's going to be about 2 minutes long, and that's not what we want. So if you want a quick export, make sure you're over here in the timeline. Make sure you've got that selected. And do quick export. Make sure the settings are right. So 12 seconds is about right. It's still going in my exports folder. To change the title here, I can do it like this, camera movements, and save. The file size is looking okay. It should be above 1080p. And then I'm going to just click the export button right there. Again, to turn it in, you go to the assignment, and start assignment, upload media, select audio file, and you want to make sure you turn in the right file. If you're not sure that you turned in the right file, and to double check that I turned in the right thing, I'm going to go to submission details right here, and then I can watch my clip to make sure I turned in the right file.